Vijay Banka with us now, Managing Director at Dwarikesh Sugars. Mr. Banka, good morning and good to have you with us. Let me get a sense from you in terms of really how the fundamentals of the sector seem to be shaping up. There definitely seems to have been an improvement over the last few quarters. We'd like to get a sense from you on how things are evolving on ground.
Yes, as you rightly said, there seems tectonic shift in the fundamentals of the sugar companies. We have seen announcement of ethanol blending up to 20%, date being advanced to 1st of April 2023. Besides that, government has been continuously working on ensuring that the overhang of the stock is addressed. And on a long-term basis, sugar companies are able to sacrifice the sugar production in favor of ethanol. So that the ethanol blending program has got the right impetus now, and we see going forward a lot of capacity is being added. And in the times to come, maybe 2 to 3 years down the line, we may be able to see a happy situation where the sugar production is equal to sugar consumption. And thereby the overhang stock issues are addressed. We should see a reasonable stock levels of about 3 months or so stock holding as at the year end of the season. So all these augur well for the sugar industry in times to come. We've seen this big shift happening, and I think the momentum should sustain.
Okay, so that's sounding optimistic. We did see FY21 being a good year for growth and profitability continue in FY22 as well. But when you're looking at growth rates, what's the outlook on that front?
FY21 was a reasonably good year for all of us, for most sugar companies. FY22 also should be a good year, or in fact a better year, more because most sugar companies would be selling more ethanol than what they sold in the previous financial year. So the distillery segment of most sugar companies should report better results. And with the international sugar prices firming up on account of consistent unprecedented drought in Brazil and Thailand, I think that should have an impact on the domestic selling prices of sugar. So a combination of these two factors, better profitability from the distillery segment as well as from the sugar segment, should ensure that the sugar companies will perform better than what they did in FY21.
While this year the benefit could come in because the raw material, which is sugarcane in this case, was, let's say, acquired 8-12 months ago. But is there a escalation which could happen on MSP and on sugarcane procurement, which will, in a sense, be a challenge in terms of the spreads and the margins which you will enjoy? Because I'm sure somewhere the government and the farmer is also aware of the way how sugarcane prices have shot up, or sugar prices have shot up.
Yes, you're right. There is a possibility, this 2022 being an election year, there is a possibility that sugarcane prices could be increased by the government. But having said that, I must also add that our long-standing request of increase in MSP from 3,100 to about 3,400 or so should also be heeded to. And one factor compensating the other, and I think that should not have any impact on the profitability of sugar companies.
Fair point. When you say the ethanol profitability is going to be high, could you quantify that for us as percentage of your total sales? How much will come from ethanol? And what are the contracts which you think will be structured for the industry? Because the ethanol blending is not like a one-day phenomenon or a one-year phenomenon. It's a long-term process which has started. How will this change life for you, for the sugar industry? And what will happen to, the total return ratios for you now?
Well, as far as our company is concerned, last year in last FY, we sold about 3 crore liters of ethanol, half of which was made from conventional C-heavy molasses and half of which was made from B-heavy molasses. Now that is going to change in the FY 2022 because we have abandoned making ethanol from C-heavy molasses. So all the sale that is going to happen will be of ethanol made from B-heavy molasses, number one. Number two, we will get the full benefits of our expanded capacity. So as against 3 crores, we should be selling about 5 crore liters of ethanol in the FY 2022. And with a better product mix in the sense that we will be selling all ethanol made from B-heavy molasses. So that is one factor. And secondly, I'm sure this is going to be the case with most other sugar companies also. They are in the process of ramping up their capacities, and more capacities are also expected to come up. So the ethanol quantum, which was, let's say, X in the FY 2021, should be 2x or maybe 1.5x, whatever it is. So that should benefit all sugar companies. And we are also going to see some, a lot of sugar companies making ethanol directly from sugarcane juice. So that should, as against the sacrifice of 2 million tons, which we talk about for season 2021, we should see a higher sacrifice, maybe 3.5 million tons or so in the coming FY.
Next year, I mean, what happens next year when the Brazilian crop and the Thai crop, which this year has got hit because of a drought, comes back in?
You're right. You see, we have clear visibility up to 2021, January 2022, because whatever production Brazil is supposed to have for season FY 21-22 is kind of in process because there the season is, while we have November to April season, they have a different season, sugar season there. So the shortfall in the Brazilian production is kind of given now. And so is the case with production in Thailand. So in a sense, there is clear visibility up to January 2022. Thereafter, yes, the dynamics could undergo a big change. But well, by then we expect that the government should announce another booster dose of export initiative. So I think we should be able to contract sugar for export, and that should, in a sense, restore the sugar balance in the country. And I think, the big focus is on ethanol because that is, the prices of ethanol determined by the government are notwithstanding the international crude prices.
Sure. Also wanted to understand what inventory levels are you currently sitting on so as to, be able to cater to the global demand as well as the higher ethanol diversion as well?
See, we are, it is expected that our season and inventory for the industry as a whole is going to be around 9 million tons, maybe a little less than 9 million tons of sugar. So this is, if you see, has been moderated considerably from the sugar inventory that the industry was carrying 2 years ago, which was more than 14 million tons of inventory. So 9 million tons roughly translates to about 4.5 months of consumption. So going forward, with increased ethanol sacrifice and export happening for season 21-22, I think we should see further moderation of sugar inventory in FY 21-22.
Sure. Vijay, great to have you on the show. Thank you so much for taking the time out and speaking with us.
Thank you. My pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure. Thank you so much.